It began with silence, the kind of silence that only exists before history is rewritten. In a vast engineering hall, a group of men stood around enormous blueprints. Lines, measurements, and fragile calculations stretched across the table like a map into the impossible. No voices were heard, only the low hum of machines warming for war. They were preparing to raise a giant, one that had slept in darkness for 113 years. In steel forges glowing like miniature suns, molten metal rained into molds. Sparks exploded as gigantic chains were born link by link, each one a monster of engineered power. Every strike echoed with purpose. It was as if the very metal understood the burden it would soon lift. Titanic. Then came the descent. Robotic explorers slipped beneath the surface, swallowed by cold black water. The deeper they fell, the thinner the light became, until only their beams remained, thin lines cutting through endless night. And there, rising from the darkness like a ghost caught in time, the Titanic appeared. Her bow, torn and collapsed. Her midship break yawning open like a rusted canyon. Her decks shattered, her railings swallowed by decay. The sea had claimed her and kept her. But tonight, the sea would be challenged. Chains slid down through the depths, their weight vibrating through the ocean. Robotic arms wrapped them around steel ribs long forgotten. Each clamp, each lock, each pull was a handshake between centuries. Then, engines awakened. A deep mechanical tremor ran through the cranes above as tension filled the chains. The Titanic shivered. For the first time since 1912, the great ship moved. Silt erupted around her like underwater dust storms. Corroded beams groaned, and inch by inch, she left the seabed that had held her prisoner. The climb was violent and unforgiving. Currents slammed against the rising wreck. Rust plates tore loose and drifted like ancient leaves. Chains screamed under impossible stress. But the lift did not stop. Light returned, faint at first, then brighter. The surface above churned like a storm trying to hold her down. And then it broke. Titanic's bow exploded through the water in a towering burst of white foam. Waterfalls roared from shattered decks. Rust glistened under open sky. Then the stern followed, twisted, broken, but defiant. For a moment, the world held its breath. Now fully airborne, the massive ship hung from colossal chains, dripping century-old water onto the sea. Wind whipped across the rusted hull. Drones circled, capturing the impossible, a steel monument, resurrected after generations of silence. Carefully, painfully, the great hull drifted sideways toward a waiting recovery barge. Chains tightened, cranes shuddered, water poured endlessly from interior rooms and collapsed corridors. Then came the final descent. The cradle accepted the Titanic's weight, metal groaning as rusted steel met solid structure for the first time since the night it sank. Floodlights ignited, and there she lay, bow to stern, torn, ancient, wounded, yet whole again in the world of air and light. After 113 years, the Titanic had risen.